have 16 siblings.
Wow.
3 by the same mother. All of the others are by my father, different moms. I lived here my whole life. I probably left once when I was a teenager. Went to Wisconsin for a couple of years and came back just to try it out, just check it out, new experience, different things. I guess I was raised, I don't want to say poor or rich, but I was raised pretty moderately. I guess we had everything needed in a normal household. I moved around a lot around San Antonio, so I've lived on all sides of town, north side, east side, south side, west side. I went to 7 different high schools here. I've been to John Jay, Marshall, Thomas Jefferson, West Campus, Judson, Holmes, and I mean, I love my city. It's a good place. It's very family oriented here. You know, there's a lot of family events going on, such as, you know, Fiesta, the Carnival,
Yes.
Black History Month. I mean,
Yes.
San Antonio, we celebrate every holiday here to the furthest extent. I mean, and personally about me, a little more about me is me personally. I like to help people, so I found myself becoming a barber. I cut hair since I was 16. I detail cars and pretty much anything else in between as far as anybody that might need some help. You know, you can call me. If I can do it, I got you. If I can't, I'll let you know, and then we'll figure it out. You know, and that's pretty much me.
Yeah, well, that's interesting because, you know, you come from a diverse family. You've had a diverse upbringing. You know the city pretty well, and then your entrepreneurship. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you feel that, you know, your life experiences has taught you, you know, to be as independent as you are as in entrepreneurship?
I do.
In what way?
Growing up in San Antonio, being African American individual it's a lot of, we're surrounded by a lot of Hispanics and their ethnicity. So I mean, I kind of had to adapt in a sense, like to a lot of things. I mean, even as far as learning another language, like I don't speak Spanish, but I understand it. You know what I mean? So you're gonna get a lot of that down here. I don't know.
Well, that's good. That's good. And I'm sure it's helped you, you know, with your clientele.
Oh yeah, definitely. Since I can understand, I can understand enough to articulate back what I need from them. You know what I mean? Like as far as haircuts or how much, or even if they come to the detail shop, they need the car detailed. I can articulate like what they want done to the car, and I can tell them how much it's going to be. And you know what I mean? I can't sit down and have a full-blown conversation, but
Yes.
I can get around. You know what I mean?
Okay. Quite resourceful.
Absolutely.
Yes. Now, as you were growing up, did you have any one that you say would be your role model? Did you have one specific person, or?
I did. It was my father,
Okay.
but I lost him at a young age. My father died when I was 16.
I'm sorry.
So keep in mind, though, there were 16 children, so he lived a while. And he did keep us in touch with my older siblings, so I did get to meet a lot of them. And a lot of people would frown upon somebody who had so many kids, but me, like, I was fascinated by how not only did he have 16, but he kept us all together, like family reunions, Christmas, Thanksgiving. Like, we all got together, all of us. And so I know all of my siblings, and we still communicate and have a good time, you know what I mean? So I think that was hard for him to do, but yeah, he did it. You know what I mean? So I looked up to him for that. Not only that, he was able to provide for all of us, different households or not. If any one of us ever needed anything, he was there. We can call on him, advise, help financially. And I kind of wondered how he balanced all that, but the fact that he did is just, like, that's my guy.
Yeah, it sounds like family is very important to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good. Good, great. And, you know, and it sounds like your father instilled some great values in you. You know, you're a very strong, independent,
Definitely.
and resourceful man,
Absolutely.
and responsible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now, how would your family describe you? What would you think they would say about you?
Kind of what a lot of these guys would say about me. I got a lot going on. I like to do a lot, though. I think that taking on a lot, it's going to bring out what the Lord really put you here for. So, like, I don't want to just For example, I wouldn't just want to work at McDonald's my whole life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though I can come up, I can go from the cook to the fry to the supervisor to the men. I don't want that. You know, it's still the same place. I like the fact that I can fix a car, or cut grass, or fix a house, or help my kids. I can cut my son's hair. You know what I mean? I don't have to take him to the barbershop. I like being well-rounded. You know what I mean? And I think, honestly, I think everyone should be, but it's just my opinion.
What would you tell the youth or the generation coming up behind you as far as, you know, their education and, you know, entrepreneurship?
Education, I feel like education is very important. I feel like, I do feel like we don't learn everything in school that prepares us for life as adults. You know, like nobody sit there and taught you how to balance your checkbook or your savings book, and to put money on bills and to hold out on your personal needs and put money where it needs to go. And they kind of just teach you to find what you love and just go for that one thing. You know what I mean? But for people like me, what if you love more than one thing? You know what I mean? Like I like everything, so I feel like there has to be a way. You know, and I would just tell them. I mean, do what you love. If you love doing one thing, do it. You know what I mean? By any means, become the greatest ever at it. You know, but just follow your heart. You know, that's what's gonna put you where you need to be. That's what the Lord wants you to do. If you're gonna serve the purpose of the Lord, then just find your calling. You know what I mean? And do it. You know what I mean? Don't. Also, I would say don't be selfish with your talent, because I was cutting hair since I was 16, and I didn't realize I'm 31 now. I just started cutting hair 2 or 3 years ago for everybody. Like I've been doing it in my family, but now I can use my talent for other people. If you go to a barbershop, haircuts are $10, $20. If you call me, adults are $10, kids are $7, and I'm coming to you to help you with your what's the word I'm looking for? It's more of a sustainable living. You know what I mean? When you have 3 or 4 kids and you got $20 a head, it's $60.
Yeah.
You know, that's groceries and stuff. You know what I mean? You come to me, I'm gonna help you out. You know what I mean? $25, $30, I'm gonna take care of all of the kids, and you still have some money to do whatever you have to do. You know what I mean? And same thing versus like fixing cars and detailing cars. You know what I mean? You go to the wash tub, $100. You come to the detail shop where I work at, you know, $30, $40. I'm detailing your whole car. That's sustainable living. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to have the nice. I don't have Jordans. I have Air Max. You know what I mean? I don't go for what everybody else wants. You know what I mean? As long as I'm sustainable and I can live, I prefer to show somebody else how to do the same thing. And I mean, if each one teach one, then it'll be a better world, right?
Yeah, that's good. That's so true. Let me ask you, why do you want to share your story with us today?
Because whether we know it or not, everybody has something that somebody else needs to hear. You know what I mean? Like people who are nervous to put their music out, and they're like, oh, I don't know, whatever. Some people will love it, some people's gonna hate it, but somebody needed to hear that. You know what I mean? And if you don't put it out, then nobody's gonna hear it. And you're being selfish with your talent once again. Like God wants you to put that out there. So I feel like you should put it out there.
Well, what would you say to someone that maybe is, you know, kind of nervous or afraid to? How would you encourage them?
Bite the bullet. I mean, nerves and anxiety, that's hard for me to deal with too, but I find it that as nervous as I am, like my answers, it's better. It's more wholehearted when it's on the spot, you know what I mean? And like when you sit there and prepare for stuff, like you're going by a certain guideline or something, you know, you're sticking to a script versus when there's no script, it's all heart. It's all from the brain, the heart, the body, like you're just putting it into your atmosphere, you know what I mean? And somebody can take from that.
Yeah, so your faith plays a great deal.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, good. Now, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Good question. Good question. I would like to own my own nonprofit. Because right now, I work, I make enough money to pay my bills and everything. But I want to, with my boss, I'm developing an app. It's not done yet. It'll be done in a couple more months here. for barbers and beauticians, right? So they can service their community without having to pay these fees of being at barber and beauty shops. Once that's there and I can get the money from that, I want to be able to go to nursing homes, children's shelters, and all the people that are neglected. I want to be able to go cut their hair and service them for free. You know what I mean? Like I just want to be able to make a trip and go show them love. And that's where I see myself. That's what I want to do. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but that's what I'm pushing for. So.
Oh, that's very noble of you. Very. Okay, and let's see. Who would you say, growing up, had the most impact upon you?
Superman. Believe it or not, my grandmother. And it's because, and this is where diversity kicks in, because I kind of, directly under my mom and dad, I grew up as a Christian. We went to church, to a Baptist church every Sunday. Now, my grandmother is actually a Jehovah's Witness. So, I mean, as much as, we would cry for presents and trick-or-treating and holidays, we would always get that wake-up call when we go to my grandmother, and she's like, well, the Lord didn't tell you to celebrate his birthday anyway. And realistically, he didn't. So, I mean, all these other extra holidays when kids don't have, she's like, imagine the kids that, from Haiti, for example. Like, we have concrete roads, right?
Yes.
In Haiti, they have dirt roads. So that's why they don't know about cars. They don't even have shoes to protect their feet. You know what I mean? Like, we have to be grateful for what we have. And she showed me that in every way, from church, the clothes that I wear, the music that I listen to, the holidays that we celebrate. And so I would say it's my grandmother.
Good, good. And can you tell me, how do other people react to you as far as you said you like a particular music?
I listen to all genres of music. I'm kind of country, rock, rap. Depends on what I'm doing.
Depends on. And do you kind of maybe use this in your line of work when you're doing your car detail business, or?
I'm always listening to music, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm kind of rhythmic.
Okay. Does that help you kind of, or assist you in some way of networking? Getting more clientele?
The music?
Yes. Is that one of the tools you use for your entrepreneurship?
Not like for others to hear, or me listening to music personally?
For both.
Because I got my speaker in my pocket. Is how I listen to music. I
All
listen
the
everywhere
time.
I go. I could turn it on right now. But, and at the detail shop, we have a speaker. We play big old school music, play it out loud, barbecue, brings in the customers and stuff like that. I mean, music is a big part of my everyday life. But even as far as music, I want to, I guess, more or less start listening to more positive stuff. Because I kind of grew up listening to wild things. But don't get me wrong, like I love Al Green and stuff like that. I love my old school music too, but I guess I need to, because we don't understand about our music. It affects us a lot. Like, at one point I was kind of always angry, and it's because I listen to a lot of rap music, and these guys are always talking about angry situations, and I'm like, this might have an impact on why I want to do some of the things that I do, and talk about some of the things that I'm talking about. So I figured, if I change my music, I ain't got to be listening to gospel now, but, if I at least listen to something with a positive direction, maybe subconsciously I'll start changing, and it does work. So I listen to jazz now. I listen to instrumentals, just the beats going. I do listen to gospel. I make beats myself, and I don't want to be a Christian rapper, but I want to rap about something that's like positive. You know what I mean? Like, that's not all guns, drugs, and girls, clothes, shoes. Stuff like that.
Okay, good. Is there anything in your life that you'd like to share that may have caused you any loss or challenges?
Yeah, of course, multiple things, and it happens. Like I just turned 31 last month, so when they say when it rains it pours, like I just now understand. So I got divorced 2 years ago. I was married for 10 years, had 4 kids with my ex-wife, and I got divorced because she cheated on me. And when she cheated, I found out my grandmother died at the same time, and so that was a lot going on. And then not only that, but the guy that she cheated with wasn't a good guy. She brought him into the house. CPS got involved. They took the kids into foster care, all 4 of my children. And it was a lot going on at one time that had an impact on my life. But I kind of wanted to I did shut down for 2-3 months. I got down to 150 pounds. I didn't want to eat nothing. I didn't want to socialize with anybody, talk to anybody. And it took a little time, but I mean, eventually I started to pick myself back up, because nobody else is going to do it for you. And you have your pastor and people in your life here and there telling you that, oh, it's not how many times you fall, it's about how many times you get up, you got to go hard, you got to try again. And yeah, that's true, but until you're the one knocked down, it's like, have you been up from this? Can you get up? You ever been kicked in both ankles? But, I mean, it does take time, and you do get back on your feet. You just have to keep, you become the company you keep. So if you have like a lot of negativity around you, oh, it sucks, too bad, I'm sorry, then it's really not going to do anything for you. But when you have people actually helping you through the steps, it's different. Like people that come and pick you up and talk to you and take you to places to get your mind off of things, and take you to get a job for you and get you out the house and stuff like that. Those are the people that I guess everybody kind of needs in their life. Like it takes people like that that keeps other people going. And so, for instance, like say that the person that helped me was the person that never said anything and that stayed quiet. Well, who knows where I would have been? You know what I mean? Like, but thank God that person spoke up and he wasn't shy and he was like, dude, come on, dude. You know what I mean? Get up, let's go. And thank God for that person, because now I'm not in a room anymore for 2-3 months at a time, worrying about what I'm going to do, how to get my kids back. Oh, is there another woman for me? Because that was my wife, but apparently she liked that guy, and I don't have what that guy has. But you know what I mean? Like, and we figure it out slowly. It takes time, but obstacles are overcomable.
And you mentioned you have 4 children.
Mm-hmm.
What are
2
they?
boys and 2 girls.
Okay.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Oh.
Well, I know I said 10. I threw my stepdaughter in there because my ex-wife had a child when I met her that I raised, and everything happened. She went back to the dad. I don't get to see her. It's a long story. So it's a lot involved in a divorce, but it happens.
Yes. Okay. You know, you mentioned earlier that your dad, despite all the siblings from different families, he managed to keep you all together.
Mm-hmm.
And you all know each other. You've got a close relationship. He provided for all of you. It seems that you and your dad's life is kind of parallel, you know. What would you take from how he handled it, how you would, in fact, with your 4 children? How would you go about keeping them close and connected?
Honestly, I don't know. I still struggle with that part only because of, like, my kids are actually still in foster care. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I know the families that they're with, but I'm not allowed to have contact. So, but I keep track of them, you know what I mean? Like, I know where they are, what family they're going to, and things like that. And that's pretty much all they'll allow me to do until they're 18 and then they exit the system or whatever. So, but I mean, until then, I'm always here. I talk to them as much as I can. I tell them, if you ever need anything, they can't do it. If you can find me, I got you. You know what I mean? Just ask me and I'll give it to you. I'll find a way to give it to you. And so they know that. But, I mean, that's what I took from my dad. You know what I mean? Like, whatever I can do for them, it's going to happen. I don't care. I don't have an excuse. So, I think that's kind of all I can take from him right now until I figure out the next steps moving forward.
I can tell your children are very important to you.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
and they're very beautiful. They're mixed.
Yeah.
They're half Hispanic, half black. So they're in touch with both sides. You know what I mean? Because I would always wonder, like, how would you raise a mixed child? Like, so do you put them in touch with the black roots, or do you put them in touch with the Mexican roots? But you got to do both. You know what I mean? And then it just makes them stronger. And then because now they know all about black history and Hispanic history, and you can't tell them nothing. You know what I mean? They're like, no, that's not what my mom said. Emiliano Zapata, that's my ex-wife's one of his forefathers. Mm-hmm. The guy who said that I'd rather, what is it? I'd rather die on my knees, or
Rather die.
I'd rather
Standing
die
up.
standing than live life on my knees, right? That guy.
Something to that.
Yeah.
effect.
So
I
my
know
kids do not know how to quit nothing. My genes and her genes together, they're quitters never win, and they know that. And my daughter will tell you, like, she'll tell her siblings, we give them candy and stuff, and one of them will complain, and my oldest daughter will be like, well, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. I'm like, what? You tell them. Yeah, there we go, you know? So, I mean, they're there.
Good. I know are you planning on reuniting your children? Or?
Absolutely. Everything I do in my life, I prepare for them to come back one day. So even the house I got, like, it's got some extra rooms in it just in case, you know what I mean? If you ain't got nowhere to go, you can come home. So, like, I'll see them one day. And even if not, it's still there. And the fact that they'll see it there is what I think will impact them, you know what I mean? Versus me not doing nothing and like, oh, well, y'all were gone, and I didn't know if y'all were going to come back. And I said, so obviously you didn't prepare for us to come back either, you know what I mean? But no, I am. I'm prepared for them to come back whenever. And I don't ever want them to come back and me not be ready. That's my fear. Like, I don't want them to come ask me a question and not have knowledge. I don't want them to need something and me not be able to provide it, you know what I mean? So by any means necessary, I want to stray away from that.
You know, as a father, a young father in this situation, I'm sure there are other fathers out there. They don't know what to do, and they may not have the insight or the charisma to navigate through this situation. What advice would you give these young fathers who may, their children may be in the same situation you're dealing with? Because you obviously have some plans set forth.
I kind of utilized the system that the city put in place. So when you get your children taken from you, they'll tell you to go to parenting, do domestic violence classes, do your drug classes. They put me in a program called Compadre at the children's shelter. And in these programs, there's a lot of guys in the exact same shoes as you, or whether you believe it or know it or not, worse. And there's a way for them to get out through, the system will help you. You'll take your classes, you'll get your certificates, you get certified. And, of course, depending on the conditions of the case, but some get their children back, some have to wait. It just depends. But I would definitely follow those steps, because now, even today, now that if I'm ever lost, I became a mentor at the children's shelter. I can go back to the children's shelter any day and ask any one of these guys for help, guidance, a plan of action, and I have 4 or 5 other fathers there with me, and we'll come up with it together, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I think I would just utilize your system.
Okay, that's good advice. Great advice. Let's see. How do you feel about telling this story today?
Like I said before, somebody needs to hear it. Somebody. If I was somebody who stayed quiet, maybe something I said could have changed somebody's life if they hear it. You know what I mean? But if I didn't say it, then what if they never heard what they needed to hear, so they never did what they were supposed to do, type thing? You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather just put it out there. If somebody can use the information, awesome. If they can't, hey, it's out there. Oh well, you know what I mean? It's not going to hurt being out there.
So what would you do if you had to, anything to change, what would you do differently?
As far as like my whole life?
Well, just far as, I guess, in this situation you're in with your children, would you do anything different? As far as what led to them going to?
Honestly, I don't think I would. I don't think I could have
done anything different.
Yeah, I did everything I could, and honestly, you could always do something different, but I don't think that it would have changed the outcome. Only because the outcome came from circumstances that were out of my control.
Yes.
So the only thing I could do was to deal with them accordingly and take the best steps and moving forward.
Well, I like your positive attitude and how you are,
Yep, cooler
dealing
heads,
with
stronger minds
everything.
prevail.
Yes, and the actions that you are taking. Let me see. Do you have any experiences where you felt like that you were not treated fairly in?
Yeah, and that's
Would
the
you like to
case.
share that?
I feel like personally they should have given me my kids because I'm the father of the children. I'm here, you know what I mean. Mother's the one in the situation. But at the end of the day, they told me that I was the reason they were in danger because if I would have, because when me and my wife split, I had took the kids with me and I had took them back to her to visit her when they caught him with this guy doing all this stuff. So the judge made me feel like had I not taken my kids to go see their mom, they wouldn't have been in the situation. But it's like, that's their mom. So you're telling me, should I have been the guy that all these other guys out here in the streets are and kept my kids from their mother, I wouldn't have been in the situation. You know what I mean? And that's what I was told. So.
How did that make you feel?
I kind of don't want to say. I mean, it makes me feel like that's like some people and some rules are just, there's no, they're not for you to prevail. Like, you know what I mean? They're not for you. They're not in place to help you. But, I mean, they kind of are, I guess. I don't know. It just makes me feel like, I don't know, like a double standard kind of. Because I was supposed to do something, but if I would have done it, then I would have been this guy. But since I did it, I'm still this guy. And, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel.